Hello artists, welcome to the Tempera Center, the Tempera Painting Center, there we go. And we are on level A today. Let's get started. In front of me here, I have my sketchbook. It's on a messy mat, and I'm gonna go ahead and get my name up at the top. And I'm at the painting center, just regular painting, tempera painting. I'm on level A. I know this because it is a paintbrush. All right, let's see what we are doing today. Today it says for tempera paint, this is the purple one, I can take care of art supplies and I can use the right amount of paint. Okay, here we go. So first things first, I'm going to put 1 on my sketchbook. And then I'm going to draw a line and put the number 2. All right. This is what it might look like to do my artwork today. Step 1, play an experiment. Then I'm going to make a little mini artwork. I'm going to plan it and then fill it all up with paint. Inside for level A, I'm going to be using an egg carton with just 3 colors inside: red, yellow, and blue. Red, yellow, and blue. I will also need a paintbrush, and I will need a cup of water and a paper towel. 4 things. And when I go to paint, unlike watercolor, I don't need to activate this paint. The paint is already wet. This paint is already wet. My water is just so I can wash out my brush when I'm changing colors. All right, so when I go to experiment, I'm going to just carefully dip my brush into the paint. I don't need very much. I just touch it to the bottom and the paint just goes right on my brush. Look, there's not very much there. All right, now I'm just gonna paint a swatch somewhere. I want to, look, I can move the paint around with my brush. I'm not leaving it globby. I'm leaving it so that it's nice and thin. Nice and thin. All right, I'm gonna try a new color. All right, I'm gonna get a new color. But wait, I have red all over my brush. If I were to dip it in a new color, my red would get in that color. I don't want that. So this is where I need my water. I need to wash out my brush. Let me move this out of the way here. I need to wash out my brush. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put my brush and I'm going to touch it to the bottom. I don't need to squish it in, but I'm going to touch it to the bottom. I'm going to swirl it around and you're going to see, look, the red is coming out. The red is coming out. Then I'm going to wipe my brush off the side here to get rid of extra water. Now tempera, because it's already wet, it is going to, you don't want to add any more water because it's already wet. So I'm going to take my paper towel and just dry off my brush, just like that. Now that my brush is dry, look, it's just cool. Just cool. It's not dripping. I'm going to go ahead, I can grab a new color. Whew, okay, here we go. Again, look, I have a glob of paint right there. If I have a glob of paint like that, I don't need any more. I just need to move it out so that it's nice and thin. Nice and thin. Okay, all right, here I go. Again, touch my brush to the bottom, swirl it around, and wipe off the edge. Then I need to remember to extra dry my brush on my paper towel. I can dry it off. And now I can get my last color that I have. I'm going to do a line with this one. Just 2 lines right by each other. All right. Now I'm going to make a mini artwork. The first thing I'm going to do with my mini artwork is I'm going to plan it out. I want to plan out my artwork with a pencil so I know where I'm drawing. I'm going to plan it, then fill it with paint. So I think for today I'm going to do a rectangle. If I don't feel very comfortable drawing my rectangle, I can grab one of the tracers. And then I'm going to put some funky lines in here that fill up my space. All right, when I go to paint this now, I want to make sure that I'm using one color per shape. So I'm going to start with yellow here. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to paint my best inside the lines. Oh no! This is what happens. I must have had a little bit of extra red on my brush because this is what happens. It's not yellow anymore. If that happens, that's okay. I have to wait for it to dry. I might be able to take my finger and get the extra off while it's wet. But now I have to wait for it to dry so I can paint over it. All right, let's try this again. I'm going to get some yellow here and I'm going to paint inside the lines. Look at that. I'm staying really close and I'm going to fill up my whole shape with paint. I didn't even need to dip my brush again. I only needed to do it one time. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to get some more yellow so I don't have to wash out my brush. And I think this might be a time where I can paint over it now. Yep, I can start to paint over it now. It's kind of dry. It dries really fast. All right, and then I can paint all the way up to the line. Okay, now I need a new color. Again, dip my brush, swirl it around, get off the extra, and dry it off. I would keep going till my painting is all filled in. Just like that. I can't see any more white. When I'm done, then my sketchbook is now wet. It has to go on the drying rack. I'm going to leave it open and put it on the drying rack for it to dry. Then I would go wash out my paint palette. I need to wash it in the sink and then put it in the right cleaning area, in the right put away area. Happy creating!